Well, Jamie, you and Lauren, you've worked so hard. That deserves a nice little treat. Now, how does this sound? Some pretzels, because they are a crowd pleaser. And if you have never made them from scratch, you're in luck because Michaela is in studio to show us exactly how to make this. This is a beginner's recipe. We're about to make some soft pretzel bites coated in cinnamon sugar and served with our Clover classic custard. That is yum, yum, yum after a big workout. Michaela, I love being in the kitchen with you.
Yay!
I always learn something new.
Let's hope I have something to teach today.
Okay.
Okay, so before we started, we bloomed the yeast prior to it. So it has some brown sugar in there. We had some lukewarm water and our yeast.
So is that called blooming the yeast?
Yes. So you can see there's like little bubbles floating on the top. That's the yeast that's now activated. It takes at least like 10 to 15 minutes to do it correctly. So that's why we did it off camera.
Okay, so it's warm water, some sugar, and then our yeast.
Because sugar feeds yeast.
Yes.
And salt kills it. I literally say this every single time. But it's an important fact. It really is. So we have a teaspoon of salt here. I'm not gonna...
So you're adding the salt first because now our yeast is activated. So because you just reiterated, it's going to kill the yeast.
Yes.
But if you mix it in first, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Just as long as the yeast doesn't directly touch the salt, then you should be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we pour in our yeast mixture
and then
some
are you
butter.
the type of person when you make a dough, you use your hands? No, you use a spatula.
No, I'm using the spatula first and then I go in with my hands. Okay. I always do this because I'm never sure how much flour is actually in this bowl, because if I was doing it at home, I'd just have my flour on the side and then like if I needed more, I'd just like throw it in.
More.
I eyeball it.
We can, okay, you're eyeballing it.
Okay. And could you please mix together the cinnamon and sugar first?
Okay, so I've got the sugar here, a bit of cinnamon. You know, one thing I've got in the house is like permanent cinnamon sugar. Because if I make pancakes, you know, you just make 2 little pancakes, you just sprinkle your cinnamon sugar over it.
How do you make 2 little pancakes?
You make the batter and then you freeze it into little Ziploc bags and then you just defrost the amount you want.
What?
That's called cooking for one.
Oh,
you
I know
how to
that.
Be savvy with your ingredients.
Okay, so you start kneading the dough together and you just want to knead until all the gluten is activated. It will get to a point where it will stop being this sticky. Kelly's going to hate me because now I've dirtied the worktop.
It's fine. Here's some flour. I've got the ready-made ones. There we go. So I'm going to get my hands dirty too.
Yes, so if you could roll that flat for me.
Define flat.
Until
like
it's about...
base.
No. Actually, yeah, you could go quite flat.
Okay, I'm going to steal some flour.
Okay, go for gold. And then over here next to me, I have a pot of boiling water with some bicarb in it, because when you make pretzels, and actually when you make bagels, you need to boil them. But in this case, the bicarb adds the color to the pretzels. So usually when you get a soft pretzel, it's like a very dark color. And that's because of the boiling process with the bicarb. And then that looks perfect.
Is that flat enough?
Yes, all good. And then you want to cut that into strips.
Into strips. How thick must my strips be?
They can be kind of thin because these are little bites.
We're going like that?
Perfect.
Happy with that.
And then what you want to do with one of those strips is knot it. So this is what they did for the
So I'm going to give you a strip.
Thank you.
Demonstrate, because, oh, your hands are so sticky.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
The one hand, she is very
You literally make a knot.
Make a knot.
It's a shoestring.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's hard when your one hand is very sticky. But you can rough knot it.
Rough knot it.
And then knot it again.
Multiple times. Okay.
Yeah, just keep knotting it until it looks like a pretty pattern. I think ours was a little long.
I don't know if this is considered pretty, but...
Okay. And then you want to dump it in the water.
Oh, we're not putting it on the tray.
I mean, you could let it prove a little while, but we're doing this TV time. There we go.
TV time. Quick, quick.
Quick boil, just until the outside hardens up a little.
Boop. So you tie it.
They'll float a little like dumplings.
And then you tie it again.
There we go, they're floating.
This is a good beginner recipe.
And then, once they're all floaty, you put it on your baking tray and you bake it in the oven.
Oh, Okay.
Actually, we sprinkle this with cinnamon sugar first, and then we bake them.
So we're going to
And then you
sprinkle
take
with
it out
some
and you cinnamon
sugar.
sugar it more. Nice.
That's a lot of cinnamon sugar.
Okay, those were unboiled, but yeah, you catch our drift.
TV cooking. That's how we cook on TV. And then, of course, you'll serve it with your Clover Classic Custard.
Yep.
Because Clover Classic Custard, it is versatile. You can use it with desserts. It is great for those sweet things. It's also got a nice creamy texture to it. It really adds some deliciousness, and it can be enjoyed on its own too. So there we go. Michaela, I love that we made this really one. It was quick and easy, our pretzel bites. And if you want to get your hands on this recipe, we do have it for you on expressoshow.com. Make sure you head on over there, give it a go, and let us know what your thoughts are of these cute little pretzel bites.
Woo!
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic!
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.